Hey everyone, we're back with another video. I'm going to be showing you guys this Lakecross race I did back in February. I haven't made a video in a while because my computer is getting slow, but got a new computer now. Shout out to Tim. So yeah, this race, it was at the Manawa Snowdeo on Bear Lake, kind of near Manawa.
You guys gonna line up behind them?
It was on Bear Lake. Right now we're lining up. And with this race, it was a 10-lap Ironman race, they called it. And I'm in the studded trail class with my 06 Skidoo 600. And this is the sled I ride trails with. Like, this is not set up to race at all. But I got studs. I thought it'd be really fun to do a Lakecross race, and it was a lot of fun. But right now we're setting up. There's a class ahead of us that will be racing at the same time, but they're in a different class, so we're not racing against them. But their sleds might be hopped up a little more, and they have the really good studs. I just have trail studs, so line up here, they'll go first. And there's only 3 people in my class, which is kind of why I ran this race. I thought, if anything, I get third and get a little payout. I think last you might have gotten $20 or something. I'm like, I'm going to do this. This is going to be fun. But you got to watch the leaderboard to see what class is up next, so you don't miss a race. Because honestly, that's how I missed my race. I was in the trail class, missed it. So I'm like, I'll do this Iron Dog race, and there's less people. I don't want to get in people's way, because this is my first time doing this. So, alright, they just took off. They let them go out a bit, and I'm just waiting for the green flag. I'm like totally focused right now, getting ready. Gotta rev it up a little, just take off. And as you can see, these trail studs are worn out. This whole race, I could not get traction at all. That Skidoo just took off because I'm sure they're running way better studs than what I'm running, because I actually use my studs, but out on the trail. So I'm trying to catch up to this guy. Like, I'm really fighting, but it's like I cannot get traction at all. Like, the back end is just drifting. You can see right here, skis are pointed to the right, sleds pointed to the left, and I'm having a pretty hard time. But I just bought new Carbides, and this thing cornered great as far as the front end goes, and I was worried about the inside ski lifting up because I rode it around my yard, and I would blip the throttle and the front end would come up, the ski would come off the ground. But out on this hard pack ice, it was really good. But I was also leaning a lot because I did not want it to catch or something and tip over. So I'm leaning really far over, trying not to overshoot the corners. The guy in the pits I talked to, he kind of got the gist that it was my first time out here. He's like, just don't pass on the outside, because somebody is probably going to overshoot, slide into you. You don't want to get in people's way. I'm like, okay. So, yeah, I'm still trying to catch this guy. Yeah, now we're on lap 2, and I never let off this guy. Like, I'm hoping he overshoots a corner and I get to pass him, and I'm just fighting this thing, making sure it doesn't roll. It was really fun, but I'm just drifting everywhere, shifting my weight all over, just spinning. Like, these trail studs, I don't think any of the racers use these trail studs. I think they use just the plain steel studs, and they sharpen them a lot. But yeah, the sled's all stock. Yeah, now I'm getting lapped by that other class. Got her pinned right here, leaning back. I'm just letting these guys through. I took my mirrors off because I didn't know if they would allow mirrors or not, but I kind of wish I had them because I feel like I was kind of cutting some people off that I kind of didn't need to. Because I'm not racing these guys. They're in a different class. They're in the pro class, basically. I'm in the amateur class. But yeah, I'm like, well, that guy is way ahead of me at this point, but I just want to finish the race, keep going hard, see how I can do, because after 4th or 5th lap, I was getting pretty tired. But I'm like, I gotta just keep going so I don't make a fool of myself in 3rd, but I'm in 3rd, so who cares, you know, but yeah, I'm just drifting here for fun. I was hoping the photographer would have got some pictures, but they were at the Pro Vintage races at that time. So this Manawa Snowdeo, it's a 2-day event this year. There was a bunch of stuff going on. There's radar runs, you can run anything. There's drag cars that do drags on the ice, studded tires. There's the Pro Vintage Snowmobile Oval races, which is really fun to watch, like all the sleds that we've seen at Eagle River. And then there's this Lakecross. There might have been a dirt bike class, but it's all a bunch of different classes for sleds. Stock, unstudded, studded, vintage, 500cc or less. And then I'm in the 600, so 500 plus. But I feel like I should have entered in the unstudded class because that's how my sled was handling. It was all stock. I tightened up my limiter strap. I kind of made that front shock stiffer. I was trying to adjust my front shocks to see how that would affect the steering, but these Carbides worked really good. So I think I left my shocks around the middle. It's hard to remember. I may have stiffened them up to add more ski pressure. And then the rear, I loosened up the coupling blocks to get it to sit as low as possible so it would corner better, but it still was kind of tall for what I'm trying to do. If I had good studs though, I think it would have done a lot better because the skis stayed planted, it cornered really good, but I just couldn't hook up. I've used this GoPro camera before in my 3-wheeler video where we're doing the top speed runs, and I'm really liking that hyper smooth. It gets rid of a lot of the shake, and this isn't even at 4K right now, it's at like 2700. I could do 4K videos, it's just that then it fills up the card faster and I try to get all the footage I can, but I'm pretty happy with this Hero 8 footage. This is pretty nice, and I like using the chest mount for most things. I have it on my helmet right now, on the top of my helmet, because because on this sled you kind of, all you would have seen would be the gauges if it was on my chest, but with having the camera lower on your helmet or on your chest, it kind of gives a feel that you're going, I wouldn't say faster, but, and it shows kind of your arms more and how you're handling the machine. So that's why I like using the chest mount. If it's up on the top of your helmet, it looks like you're not going as fast, and you lose a little kind of depth perception if you're going over jumps. Right about now, I'm getting pretty tired throwing this machine around, trying not to roll it, but I don't want to fall way back, get in other people's way if they're trying to lap me, so I try to just stay where I'm at. I can't even tell who's in front of me, if it's the pro class or not, but I'm like, if that guy in second flubs up, I can pass him. So I just kept trying. We're at lap 6. So the people in the pro class decide how many laps there are. It's kind of a group decision. It could have been anywhere from 5 to 10. Yeah, I kind of slid through that one. I didn't want to get in that guy's way, and then the outside couldn't steer. So I'm on the very outside. I'm like, I'll let these guys pass. After I hit that turn, I was kind of discouraged. I was like, I'm in last, and then that happens, and like I'm falling back. Sorry about that, dude. So we get this replay here. I thought he was going to pass on the inside, but when he bumped into me, I couldn't turn to the inside to like avoid him. So I kind of bumped into him twice a little bit, got close to him. He didn't really like that. So, I mean, I tried to give him room, but turns out I cut him off. So, yeah, maybe next time I'll bring my mirrors, if it's allowed. That made it pretty interesting. Got some action, you know. Just kind of gotta throttle out of it sometimes. When in doubt, throttle out. I saw a lot of Polarises like his, and a lot of Articats. I didn't see that many older MXZs. I didn't see many sleds like mine, except for that one that took off at the end. That guy ended up winning first, and I think that guy, he had some other sleds there racing some other classes, I think, and looked like he knew what he was doing with these sleds, how to set them up, because I think he did pretty good. thinking about what I could do to set this sled up better for next year. And I could buy better shocks, I could try to get it lower, I could buy better studs. Studs are not cheap. And this is my trail sled. I mean, I just hop on it, turn key, go. It's carbureted, but I mean, it runs great, starts good. And it's my trail sled. I mean, we put on 100 miles in one day, no worries. Big drift right here. It's like Tokyo Drift out here. But I'm like, I don't really want to turn my sled, my trail sled, into a dedicated Lakecross race sled. So I'm gonna just leave this one alone. I got something up my sleeve for next year. It's actually a vintage Yamaha 440 Exciter. Yeah, right here it hit 80 miles an hour. Roughly. I mean, my track's probably spinning a lot more. It was probably only going 55, 60. But yeah, this was like a perfect day. Sun was out, the ice was plenty thick. Pretty fun day. Let this guy by. Yeah, a lot of these sleds just sit lower than mine in the back. That probably helps a lot. Yeah, I got my big trail windshield, got my new Carbides. But the Carbides will be nice on the trails too. Mine came with duals, and I didn't want to spend $400 on Carbides because they're about, I think they're close to $100 each. So I reused 2 out of the 4 and put the new ones in the middle, because there's a middle one and an outer one. And it worked pretty good. I'm going to try to take care of them so they last. Yeah, I didn't really care that was in last. I mean, this is my first race. I didn't know that my studs were this crappy, but it was still fun. Really just gives me a good feel of what to do next year. I'm gonna get this Yamaha sled set up, running good. I'll make videos on that, and then I don't want to put studs in the track until I need them. Just wondering like how soon I get it done during the season. You know, if it's late season and I get it running, I'm not going to throw studs in it. I'm just going to kind of keep riding it and tuning it, try to get it as best I can. But see, this sled, I can do whatever I want with it. Make it a race sled. Keep this as a trail sled. It'll work out good. Here, lap 10. I'm tired, but I'm like, I'm not gonna quit. Getting a little ballsy on some of these corners. I'm like, I'm just gonna hold her wide, drift, have fun. Then I slide into the snow here, overshooting turns. I think also having the worn out studs makes it worse for braking, because if you can't accelerate good, you can't brake good. Pretty much just felt like I didn't have any studs at all. So I would say it's like riding on glare ice, but that's what I'm doing. So Yeah, it's like having no studs. Alright, coming up, checkered flag right here. Finished last, finished third. So this guy here, Mickey Mouse Operations on YouTube, we'll give him a shout out. He's got a Yamaha Enticer 300, looks like he raced. Alright, that's about it for this video. It'd be nice to get a video up again, and then I'm going to have some other videos up in the future. A lot of dual sport stuff. My buddy just got a bike. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but we've been testing it out and riding it, having a lot of fun up north, Rhinelander and Carbides. So alright, that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching.